What if I told you that one of the most familiar comforting parts of your daily routine may be quietly damaging your nerves, not over years, but little by little every single week, without you ever feeling it happen? If you're over 60 and you've noticed numbness in your feet, tingling at night, burning sensations, or a subtle loss of balance that's hard to explain, this is not something to brush off. And it may not be just aging either. As a neurologist who has spent decades working with older adults across the United States, I've seen too many seniors do everything right: eat reasonably well, take their medications, stay active, yet still watch their nerve health decline. What's often missed are the quiet habits that seem harmless because they're familiar. Habits tied to comfort, to routine, to something you've done thousands of times without a second thought, like how you shower. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through several common shower habits that can silently stress aging nerves, worsen neuropathy, and increase your risk of nighttime pain, balance problems, and future loss of independence. Once you understand what's really happening inside your nervous system, you may never look at your daily routine the same way again. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. Habit number 1: taking very hot showers and using heat to numb the pain. Many seniors tell me this with complete honesty. "Doctor, the hot shower is the only time my feet feel normal." That sentence alone already tells me something important about their nerves, and it's not good news. Very hot showers feel comforting because heat temporarily dulls nerve signals. It relaxes muscles, loosens stiff joints, and gives the illusion that pain is easing. But for aging nerves, especially after 60, that relief often comes at a cost most people don't realize. As we age, the tiny blood vessels that feed our peripheral nerves, particularly in the feet and lower legs, become more fragile. Neuropathy already means those nerves are struggling to get enough oxygen and nutrients. When you expose them to very hot water day after day, the blood vessels suddenly dilate, blood pressure in the extremities drops, and nerve tissue experiences brief but repeated episodes of stress. Think of it as thermal overload on a system that has very little reserve left. In younger adults, nerves bounce back quickly. In older adults, they don't. Repeated exposure to high heat increases local inflammation, worsens oxidative stress inside nerve fibers, and can slowly degrade the protective myelin coating that allows nerves to send clear signals. Over time, that harmless hot shower can contribute to worsening numbness, more intense burning at night, and greater loss of temperature sensation, one of the earliest signs that neuropathy is progressing. There's another hidden risk many seniors miss. Hot water can blunt warning signals. If your feet are already numb, you may not feel how hot the water truly is. I've seen patients with neuropathy suffer minor burns without realizing it, simply because their nerves could no longer register heat properly. Skin injury and nerve injury often progress together. Culturally, many older Americans grew up believing that heat heals. Heating pads, hot baths, long steamy showers, these were staples for aches and pains. But neuropathy is not arthritis. What soothes joints can quietly harm nerves when used without limits. This doesn't mean you must give up warm showers entirely. It means understanding moderation. Lukewarm to warm water supports circulation without overwhelming fragile nerve endings. Shorter exposure matters. And if you notice that your feet feel more numb or unstable after showering, that is not something to ignore. It's feedback from your nervous system asking for change. What worries me most is not the heat itself, but the habit of using heat every day to mask symptoms instead of listening to them. Because when nerves stop sending warnings, damage often accelerates silently. And here's where this becomes even more concerning. Heat is only one part of what happens in the shower. Another common shower behavior puts aging nerves at even greater risk, especially when balance and circulation are already compromised. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2. Habit number 2, standing still in the shower longer than your nerves can handle. Most people don't think of the shower as a place where nerve damage can quietly worsen. It feels safe, familiar, routine. And that's exactly why this habit slips under the radar for so many adults over 60. Standing still in a warm shower for 10, 15, sometimes even 20 minutes may seem harmless, but aging nerves experience that situation very differently than a younger body would. As we get older, circulation to the legs and feet naturally declines. Peripheral nerves already receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients, especially in people with early neuropathy, prediabetes, or balance issues. When you stand motionless, gravity pulls blood downward, and the muscles that normally help pump blood back up toward the heart remain inactive. Warm water adds another layer by dilating blood vessels, further lowering effective circulation to nerve tissue. The result is a temporary drop in blood pressure and reduced oxygen delivery to the longest nerves in the body, the same nerves responsible for foot sensation and balance. Many seniors notice that their feet feel heavier, more numb, or strangely disconnected while standing in the shower. Some describe a subtle lightheadedness they brush off. Others don't notice anything at all until they step out and suddenly feel unsteady. This is where risk quietly escalates. Neuropathy already blunts the body's ability to sense position and pressure. Standing still removes visual cues, weakens muscle engagement, and reduces nerve feedback all at once. That combination increases the likelihood of post-shower instability, which is one reason falls often happen immediately after bathing rather than during it. For older adults, a single fall can change everything: independence, confidence, even long-term health outcomes. What makes this habit particularly dangerous is how normal it feels. Many seniors use shower time as a moment of rest, reflection, or relief from joint stiffness. There is nothing wrong with enjoying your shower. The issue is prolonged stillness. Nerves depend on gentle movement to maintain blood flow. Without it, they struggle. There's also a psychological piece many people overlook. Standing quietly while symptoms gradually worsen can train the brain to accept numbness as normal. Over time, reduced sensation becomes familiar, and early warning signs are missed. Neuropathy thrives in silence. The solution is not dramatic. Small adjustments make a real difference. Shorter showers, gentle weight shifts, light foot movement. Some seniors benefit from a shower chair not as a sign of weakness, but as a strategy for nerve protection and fall prevention. These changes support circulation and reduce nerve stress without taking away comfort or dignity. And here's the part most people don't expect. Even if heat and standing weren't an issue, there's another shower related habit that quietly irritates nerves long after the water is turned off, starting right at the skin level. Habit number 3: brushing off numbness or burning after a shower as normal aging. It often starts as a small, easy to ignore moment. You step out of the shower, dry off, and notice your feet feel more numb than usual. Or there's a faint burning sensation that wasn't there before. You wait a few minutes, it fades, and you tell yourself, that's just what happens when you get older. From a neurologist's perspective, that assumption is one of the most dangerous habits seniors develop. After 60, your nervous system becomes far less forgiving. Nerves lose resilience, blood flow becomes less efficient, and temperature regulation weakens. When numbness, tingling, or burning sensations worsen specifically after a shower, it often means the nerves are struggling to adapt to changes in heat and circulation. That is not a random inconvenience. It is feedback. Healthy nerves adjust smoothly to temperature shifts. Damaged or vulnerable nerves do not. Heat causes blood vessels to open, blood pressure to shift, and sensory signals to fluctuate. If your nerves are already compromised by early neuropathy, blood sugar instability, or nutrient deficiencies, that brief exposure can temporarily overwhelm them. The result is increased symptoms once the water is off. Many older adults dismiss these signs because they don't last. But neuropathy rarely announces itself with constant pain in the beginning. It comes and goes. It tests boundaries. It gives subtle warnings long before permanent damage sets in. Ignoring those warnings allows the condition to progress quietly. There is also a deeper issue at play. Numbness after a shower often signals impaired small nerve fibers, the same fibers responsible for temperature awareness and protective sensation. When those nerves begin to fail, the risk goes beyond discomfort. Reduced sensation means you're less likely to notice injuries, pressure points, or skin damage on your feet. That increases the risk of infections, slow healing wounds, and balance problems that can lead to falls. Psychologically, many seniors minimize symptoms to avoid bad news. No one wants another diagnosis. No one wants to feel fragile. But pretending symptoms are normal doesn't protect independence, it threatens it. The earlier nerve changes are recognized, the more opportunity there is to slow progression and preserve function. Paying attention does not mean panic. It means pattern recognition. Do symptoms consistently worsen after showering? Do they last longer than they used to? Are they becoming more frequent? These details matter. They provide clues about circulation, blood sugar control, and nerve health that no scan alone can fully capture. Your nervous system communicates through sensation. When you ignore those messages, it stops sending them clearly. And here's what most people don't realize: even if you adjust the heat and reduce standing time, another everyday shower habit may still be quietly irritating your nerves every single day, starting right at the surface of your skin. If you're still watching and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're here. Now let's keep going with point number 4. Habit number 4: using harsh soaps that quietly irritate the nerves through the skin. Most seniors choose their soap without a second thought. If it smells clean, lathers well, and says antibacterial or deep cleansing on the label, it must be doing its job, right? Unfortunately, For aging nerves, that assumption can be costly. Here's what many people don't realize: your skin is not just a protective covering, it is a sensory organ directly connected to your nervous system. After 60, the skin naturally becomes thinner, drier, and more fragile. At the same time, the tiny nerve endings embedded in the skin become more sensitive and less resilient. When harsh soaps strip away the skin's protective barrier, the nerves underneath are left exposed and irritated. Many popular body washes marketed in the US contain strong detergents, fragrances, and antibacterial agents designed to remove oils aggressively. For younger skin, this may cause little more than dryness. For older adults, especially those with neuropathy or early nerve damage, it can amplify burning, tingling, itching, and electric like sensations, particularly in the feet, lower legs, and hands. I often hear patients say, "My feet burn more after I shower, but I thought that was circulation." In many cases, the irritation begins at the skin level. Dry, inflamed skin sends distress signals to already compromised nerves. Over time, this constant irritation can heighten nerve sensitivity and worsen pain perception, even without visible rash or redness. There's also a dangerous sensory mismatch that can develop. Neuropathy reduces normal sensation, but irritation increases abnormal signals. This combination confuses the nervous system. The brain receives mixed messages, numbness layered with burning, which is why some seniors describe neuropathy as both dull and painful at the same time. Culturally, many older Americans grew up associating strong soap with cleanliness and safety. Antibacterial products became especially popular over the last few decades. But excessive sterilization of the skin disrupts its natural microbiome, increases dryness, and weakens the skin's ability to protect underlying nerve endings. Clean does not have to mean harsh. What makes this habit especially risky is how subtle the damage feels at first. There's no immediate pain, no dramatic reaction, just a gradual increase in discomfort that's easy to blame on bad nerves or aging. But nerves respond to environment, and daily exposure matters. Protecting nerve health often starts with protecting the skin. Gentle, fragrance-free cleansers. Avoiding aggressive scrubbing. Moisturizing after showering, especially the feet and lower legs, to restore the barrier nerves rely on. These are not cosmetic choices, they are neurological ones. And even when skin irritation is addressed, there's one final shower-related habit that many seniors overlook entirely, a timing issue that quietly stresses nerves from the inside out and may be doing more harm than any soap ever could. Habit number 5, showering at the worst possible time for your blood sugar and nerves. Very few seniors connect their shower routine with what's happening inside their bloodstream. Yet, from a neurological standpoint, when you shower can matter just as much as how you shower, especially after 60. Here's the reality many older adults are unaware of. Your nerves are extremely sensitive to blood sugar fluctuations. You don't need to have diabetes for this to matter. In fact, many people with neuropathy have blood sugar levels that are not bad enough to raise alarms, yet unstable enough to quietly damage nerves over time. After a meal high in carbohydrates, breakfast toast, cereal, fruit, pancakes, even a seemingly healthy smoothie, blood sugar rises, insulin surges. Nerves are already under metabolic stress. If you step into a warm or hot shower during this window, blood vessels dilate, circulation shifts, and glucose remains elevated in the bloodstream longer than it should. For aging nerves, this combination is toxic. Think of it this way: high blood sugar irritates nerve tissue from the inside, while heat and circulation changes stress it from the outside. Together, they amplify inflammation, oxidative stress, and nerve signaling errors. Many seniors notice that burning, tingling, or weakness is worse later in the morning or after dinner, but they don't realize their shower timing is part of the equation. Morning showers are a common example. Older Americans often shower right after waking, sometimes before eating, sometimes after a quick carbohydrate heavy breakfast. At that time, cortisol is already elevated, blood sugar is more volatile, and nerves are less protected. Add heat, and the nervous system takes another hit before the day even begins. Evening showers can pose a similar problem when taken immediately after dinner. If blood sugar remains elevated and circulation shifts abruptly, nerve irritation can intensify overnight. This helps explain why so many seniors report worse neuropathy symptoms at night, despite doing everything right during the day. What makes this habit particularly damaging is its invisibility. There's no immediate pain that clearly points to blood sugar. No warning label on the shower, just slow, cumulative stress that builds quietly over months and years. The goal is not to avoid showers, it's to reduce unnecessary nerve strain, giving your body time to stabilize after meals. Avoiding very hot water during periods of known blood sugar spikes, taking a short walk before showering to help glucose move into muscles. These are small timing adjustments, but they can significantly reduce nerve irritation. This matters because neuropathy is rarely caused by a single factor. It's the result of repeated stress stacking up blood sugar instability, circulation shifts, inflammation, and daily habits that seem unrelated until you connect the dots. And once you step back and look at the full picture, heat, standing, sensation changes, skin irritation, and blood sugar timing, a much bigger question emerges. How many of these habits are quietly working together? And what happens when you finally change them all at once? Small habits, fragile nerves, and the future you're quietly building. By the time we reach our 60s and beyond, the body no longer gives us much margin for error. Nerves that once adapted easily now respond slowly. Circulation that once recovered overnight becomes fragile. And damage that used to heal quietly can begin to accumulate in ways we don't immediately feel until one day we do. Neuropathy rarely arrives suddenly. It develops in silence, shaped by daily routines that seem harmless because they are familiar. A hot shower, standing a little too long, ignoring post-shower numbness, using products that dry the skin, showering at a time when blood sugar is already unstable. None of these habits feel dangerous on their own. But aging nerves don't experience life in isolated moments, they experience patterns. What makes this especially important for older adults is what happens when we sleep. At night, circulation slows, blood pressure changes, and nerve repair is supposed to occur. If nerves have been irritated, inflamed, or stressed repeatedly during the day, nighttime becomes a vulnerable period. This is why burning, tingling, and electric pain often worsen after dark. Sleep should restore the nervous system. Instead, for many seniors, it becomes a time when damage makes itself known. The deeper message here is not fear, it's responsibility and awareness. Aging does not mean surrendering control. It means understanding that the body requires more thoughtful care than it once did. Understanding how your habits affect your nerves allows you to adjust before problems become permanent. Think about your health trajectory over the next 1 to 5 years. Nerve damage that progresses slowly today can quietly reshape balance, mobility, and independence tomorrow. Falls, loss of confidence, disrupted sleep, and chronic pain are not inevitable outcomes of aging, but they are common consequences of ignored signals. The good news is that small, intentional changes compound in powerful ways. Adjusting how and when you shower, paying attention to subtle sensory changes, supporting circulation, skin health, and blood sugar stability. These are not dramatic interventions, but they are protective ones. Healthy aging is not about chasing youth. It's about preserving function. It's about staying steady on your feet, sleeping through the night, and trusting your body to support you tomorrow as well as it does today. Your nerves are always communicating. When you listen early, you give yourself the best chance at a future with less pain, fewer limitations, and more control over how you live the years ahead. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey toward embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with 1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means a lot to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life on your own terms.